Well, that was great. We just went over to, just left James Best live. So I don't know if anyone's going to come on here though, because I can't freaking share it on the James Best. Fucking that turned into a shit show real quick. Holy fuck. Let's see. I guess I should probably share this on my damn YouTube. What's up, whoever's in the chat and all in here? I guess we're trying to move over from James Best live feed. Hopefully Spectre shared it because I can't bring up YouTube and StreamYard at the same time. So let's see here. I got can I reply to comments here? All right, let's do this. Whoever wants to pop on here, I guess as long as it's not total troll action going on, I guess we're all right with that. What's up, Trucking with MC? I think Nevada was over in James Best live feed. Man, I forget who else was over there. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can't pull that up here. Well, yeah, I'm Jackknife. Yep. Oh yeah, you were the one that was just over in James. Yeah. Where's everyone else? Yo, what's up, Gary B? What's up, Gary B? I don't know. I think the mic shut off there for a second. Oh, there it goes. Just popped on. Anybody sitting backstage? So I said, "How are you? Am I? I'm doing all right. I don't know what the hell just happened over there, but that turned into a shit show real quick." See, I should have shared. I should have went over on. I should have went over on YouTube first, and then put that I was going live first. I didn't do that, so everyone's probably still sitting in there wondering what the hell's going on. Well, right now we're learning how crazy James Best live feeds can get. That's for sure. That's what we're learning today, Barry. Holy crap. That turned into a shit show real fast.
It did. But
yeah.
Let's see here. Where am I at here? I gotta pull up your thing.
Yeah, I wasn't able to. I don't have a computer, so I wasn't able to
There you are. No, we don't do YouTube Premium.
Yeah, can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
Trying to switch over to my damn earpiece.
That'll be difficult. Hold on, I'll be right back.
There we go. If anybody can post on James Best YouTube channel, just post this StreamYard or whatnot, or my YouTube link, one or the other. Yeah, Barry. That's where we just were on James Best live feed, and we ended up getting trolled off there. I mean, I don't give a shit about people being a dickhead, but you know, it only can go so far. Pin link to top. See, I'm not. Let's see. How the hell do we pin here? I can star a comment. Yeah, I try to stay out of drama too, but I don't know. Sometimes I bring it upon myself. It all depends.
All right, I'm back.
Spectre?
Yes, sir.
Is it still not connected to my Bluetooth?
I can't tell. I mean, I can hear you.
Spectre, you got no audio.
No audio. Hello.
Spectre.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, you ain't got nothing. When he walked away, it went click, and that was it.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, I got audio coming out. Spectre, just come back in, and I'll let you in and see if it works. I think your headset went off or whatnot.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, there we go. That's better.
It's better than listening to Metallica, I guess.
Right. I like Metallica, though.
I like Metallica, too, but holy shit.
They hear me. They hear me fine. Sounds good now. Cool. I had to go get me some snacks. That's what I had to do. A&W root beer. So what's going on?
You're on a laptop or a computer, I guess, right? So I guess you can see. Yeah, you'll just, I guess, keep up with the comments because I can't.
Yep, I can see them.
Yeah, because I only got the damn phone here right now, so.
Gotcha.
The laptop's at the house.
Gotcha. Yep, I can see them just fine. I can see them. I usually keep YouTube open, and I got StreamYard over here, so. Cool. So what's going on?
All right, there should be Gary B's just put out some stuff. He said there's going to be a couple people coming in probably. Well, no, what I wanted to hear was the rest of what you were saying, because obviously you know what the hell you're doing here. So
I like
compared to the fucking calamity that was going on over there in the corner. And if you want, invite T-Bone and everything back. I don't know how far I can go because I got the free version, so I think I only do 4 guests. So
I mean, you got the link in there. You know how to pin the link?
not offhand, no.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Okay, yeah, because in order to pin the link, you got to go to your YouTube and you actually click the 3 little dots beside the link that you got posted in the chat, and it'll ask you.
Let's see if I can do this without like fucking losing the stream here.
All right, it'll ask you if you want to pin it, and you just pin, boom, and it pins it to the top of the chat.
All right, so what? Go into my YouTube channel.
Yep, and go to.
All right.
Yep.
It's gonna reverb here like crazy.
That's fine.
There we go. All right, paste. And then I click on it.
Yep. What you do is you'll click on the 3 little dots beside your link, and it'll ask you if you want to pin it. And
okay, I see it.
Yep.
If it doesn't quit opening StreamYard up. Motherfucker. There we go. Pin message.
Yep.
There we go.
Boom. And then just go back to StreamYard. Oh, I think he lost it. I don't know where he went. Give him a second. See if he knows how to save it. James Best Abandoned Chairs. You do. You have a lot of views. It's amazing how many views you have. You're like one of the. If there's anybody that's a big deal in that basement, it's the chair. That's a fact. See here. I don't know if he knows how to do it. Oh, there he is. He's back.
There we freaking go. Holy crap.
Yep. Now
was that a pain in the ass?
Now you know how to save your stream. There you go. So what were you wanting to hear?
Why can't I hear you now?
You got to fix your audio. You have to fix your audio. Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me? Let's see.
Oh, that helps. There we go.
All right. Better?
There we go. I had to bring the volume back because it was reverbing.
There you go. All right. So you're good. Don't call me sir. I work for a living. You good? Or did you freeze again? Jackknife.
No, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So what were you wanting to know, man? Start. Ask.
Now let me see if I guess I lost the whole screen here on my phone here. I'm trying to pull it back up here.
Oh, there it is. You're back.
There. Fuck. Yeah, it's different when you're doing it on a laptop or something. It's easy on the phone. You're pretty much stuck with the one screen, and once it's gone, you're gone.
Right.
But, no. I said what I want to do is try to get some of your insight because obviously you know what the hell you're doing because you wouldn't be where you're at right now.
Right. I like to think I know what I'm doing, but there's days where I question it.
Yeah, only fucking all. And like what you were saying there earlier, if you if you're doing lease purchase or something and you don't have your family behind you, like your wife or something, you ain't gonna make it. No. Even as an owner operator.
No, hell no, dude. I could tell you right now, like if my wife did not support me 100%, like when I say 100%, I should probably say more like 200%. then no, I couldn't put the effort in that I've put in. I think that that's one thing that a lot of people miss, and even I miss it sometimes because I hear a lot of guys struggling, right? And you've talked about it on your channel too, sometimes about how everybody is struggling. And I have no doubt in that, I've been through the hard times. I mean, I'd like to say that at least in this community that I'm one of the few guys that have been through like in 18, right?
Yeah,
Right.
the end of 18. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
end of
going into 19. Yeah.
it kind of went kapush, and then everything kind of shot back up for a little bit during 19 coming into 20, and then of course 20.
I think I was it after August. I think in 18 it took a shit right
Yeah,
there before like winter came in and everything.
it took a
And
big.
then yeah,
Yep. And then we had 19 kind of come back up a little bit, and then of course 20, that was the year of COVID.
yep.
And dude, things went to shit, and then
Well, I started my authority right there before COVID hit. I actually had my authority for like maybe 2 months, and I said this ain't fucking. I said this ain't. I
yeah,
literally started it as it fucking began, and I said nope. I
yeah,
said we're gonna cancel that idea.
yeah. I mean, it was dude, we were running dry van at the time, and like I said, rates were up there. I mean, it was kind of up there, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and when they shut the country down, started putting all those restrictions on people. I mean, it was like an overnight thing. I mean, rates went from like really good to boom. I mean, like less than $1. You were lucky if you were getting 75 cent, 99 cent, maybe $1.
Yeah, and fuel was fucking $4, $5 a gallon. Yeah.
Yep. And then because fuel hadn't caught up yet, obviously fuel later it bottomed out as well if you had a discount card or something. But it got rough. I got rough. And it's
What's up, Nevada?
That's the only thing that really got us through was the fact that, I kind of sell myself short, I guess. My wife tells me I do all the time, but it did, man. It took a hell of a fucking effort. I mean, I put in miles. I mean, miles. We were running from Salt Lake to, St. Louis to Salt Lake, St. Louis to Sumner, Washington. And then, of course, I was helping out some veteran riding therapy farms over on the East Coast. I was running their hay for them at basically no cost to them. I was eating it pretty much, just to make sure they could keep their animals fed and all that stuff. And then, the contractors here were doing the same thing, and we were lucky to get the rate we got, which was like $2.75 a mile running some certain relief loads, and we would haul them out and then deadhead back because they had so many that needed to go. But still, it took a tremendous effort. I mean, that's a lot of miles. I mean, when you're just doing that 7 days a week, it's a lot of miles, and it does. I think that's the one thing that I forget, and that where I'm at now, when I look back on things, is as a single truck owner operator, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort, especially if you want to grow your fleet. I always tell people, if you're going to get your authority, really think about why do you want to get it? Because I hold the standing of, if you want to stay a single truck owner operator, you own your job, essentially. It's the truth. You own your job, but you should get the authority with the intention to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know anybody that goes into business to not grow.
Yeah. Like, why would you? To be honest, even just becoming an owner operator, why would you want to just, why would you want to just sleep in the truck? And like, there's guys that, like I said, there's guys that are still running around in like 95 FLDs and shit that they fucking live in the truck. That's all they do. That's all they know. They don't have no apartment, don't no family. They talk about making 90 cents a mile and being profitable and shit, and they live in a fucking truck. Who the fuck wants to do that?
I don't.
I mean, I know these foreign fucks do, because that's better than where they came from. But still, who the fuck wants to do that? That is not what we're all out here to do.
No, and you're right. I mean, dude, me and my wife talked about it. She asked me. She said, "What if you ever were still one truck? Would you be doing this?" I said, "No, I wouldn't. I would if I had no intention of growing at all, I would not have my own authority. I would probably be leased on somewhere, but more than likely I'd be a company puke. And I shouldn't say company puke. That's wrong. I apologize. I would be a company driver somewhere, because the part that everybody misses, they say, oh, having your authority is easy. What part of it? The trucking.
What part's easy?
Yeah, the trucking part of it is
Especially
easy.
if you hire people, then
Right.
you got a lot of you got a lot of relying on you on the other people. You get those phone calls at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The truck. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is the trucking part of it is easy. That's the easy part. The hard part is what comes with it. What comes with it, the safety part of it, the drug testing part, dude, my wife gets so mad at me. She's like, and she understands, but she still gets frustrated. You know, when I'm home, she wants me, you know, I'm hers when I'm home. But this ring,
Yeah, it has to be on. You can't turn that off.
Constantly on. You know, we could be out on a date night at a movie or something. I got to keep that sucker on vibrate at least, you know, and it goes off all the time. And that's a safety thing. And then of course you got all the other stuff with it, the regulatory stuff, the permitting, the, you know, constant brokers with check calls or even following up on certain things. It's nonstop, you know, it's nonstop. And yet for me, I still operate one of my trucks, you know, so you got to take that into account. And that's when you start getting hiring other people, you know, you hire office staff. I have an office manager. My wife, she manages my safety program. She's my drug tester.
Well, yeah, I definitely understand, because you hear guys out here like, oh, you can't, don't factor, don't do this, don't do that. It adds up after a while. There's only so much you could do, especially if you're running your own truck. Because I was doing it. I was running my own truck and I had 2 employees. Yep. And, I'm trying to book myself loads and book them loads at the same time. I had my own fucking disaster I'm dealing with. And not only that, I had to take care of 2 other guys and make sure they were moving,
Yep. Yeah.
So,
and see, and I did. My first driver that I hired was a company driver. Oh, dude. That was hard.
I had one company driver that pretty much I could rely on him to do any, he might as well have been an owner operator. Right. And then I had another one where I had to fucking hold his hand every time there was fucking, I have a flat tire. All right, well, fucking call up goddamn Love's and tell them you're going to go over to Love's and get the fucking tire fixed and put it on the company card. Don't fucking, don't call me up and, fucking 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. It's no big deal. It's just a fucking flat tire.
Right. Exactly. I had a guy that was the same way. And it's
even that too. They're like, oh, I can't run, the tire's flat. I said, I have fucking there's air hoses in every fucking truck. I said, fucking go blow the tire up and take it to fucking Love's or something.
Air it up. Yeah. Get to the truck stop, air it up. I think that's something else that I could say as far as for me, for my successes, is that I learned how to do a lot of the stuff on the truck myself. Simple stuff like that. I've heard of some guys, go to the shop for a windshield wiper. Really? Or God will go to the shop for a light or, something silly like that. And you're just like, why not do it yourself?
Who's this James Best abandoned chair?
I think I know who it is. I'm going to take a random shot at it, but I want to say, I think it's BOC. I think that's BOC.
You think it's BOC?
I think. Well, I'm not sure. I just know that account's been around.
Wow. Here I went from watching BOC to having BOC watch me.
Yeah. I think that's BOC. I think. I don't know for sure, but I think.
What the fuck's that happening?
Yeah.
What?
He said that just the next comment.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if you're not BOC, then I don't know who you are then. I don't know. I guess just fire questions, man. I'll answer them anybody I can. So.
No, you already, pretty much been putting it out there. Like, holy shit. The biggest thing though is like, what he was saying about you being a predatory lender and stuff. I don't, you give a guy's contract and they sign the contract. They know what they're getting themselves into.
Yes.
Like it, obviously you're a businessman. You obviously want to make money for what you're putting out there and putting yourself on the line. And you get guys that start, Well, it's not only you; it's the whole thing. Because, like I said, when I was going to start my authority there and everything, and had it running, uh, I had guys who were like, "Oh, you want to take 20%? You're ripping me off, and all this other shit." And I'm like, "Look, I'm the one offering you the the freaking number on the side of the truck. I got all the risks. I got the fuel card and everything." I said, "If you don't want to do it, go out and get your own authority."
Yeah. Well, and I think that's something else that a lot of people don't truly understand. Like in this industry, the average margin of profit, this is the average, is 3 to 5%.
Yeah, it's like 5%. Yeah.
That's for the big guys, right? The big guys like Primes, the Swifts, and all them. It's like 3 to 5.
Well, they also when guys think about Prime and Swift and them, they don't even think about what kind of cents per mile they're making off each truck. It's not dollars.
No.
They're making like 12 cents, 5 cents. They would. I brought this up the other night. I think when I looked up Swift, I think Swift has 2,500 trucks or something like that.
Yep.
So you take what? I'm trying to explain this the one night. If they even just freaking did what's the calculator app? All right, let's say so you took 12 cents off every truck and you time that by 2,500 trucks. That's let's see, $300. Now let's say all those trucks, all right, all those trucks run, we'll say 2,500 miles a week. All right. Now you times that by 25,000 trucks. You got 6,250,000 miles.
Yeah.
300.
It adds up. Yeah. It adds
times 6,500,000.
Yeah. What they're playing.
You're talking about $1 billion, like $2 billion. You're talking about $2 billion.
Yeah.
And net, I guess, well, actually, that's not net profit, but that's gross profit. $2 billion in gross profit.
Yeah. What those guys
play,
what those guys play is like a lot of people got to understand is like what those guys play. And you're right. They're making pennies on a dollar, right? But they're making that across 25,000 trucks, and that's like,
and that's also why they're freaking
right.
Their retention and their recruiter shit is they go so hard in it because they need all those trucks moving.
Correct. And that's why they also, when you see it, oh, we'll get you the miles. That's why they want their trucks to go 3,000 or more miles a week. And that there's nothing wrong with that. That's their business model.
Yeah.
And like you said, that pennies on the dollar, they're playing a volume game is what they're playing. They're playing the volume game. And that's why I say is like for us, the standard is the 80-20, right? And for me, it's 80-15. But what a lot of people need to understand is you hear that. I've even heard that. Oh, you're ripping people off. You're taking 15%. Okay. What is it that you think, right? I tend to ask this question. What is it that you think I get to keep as a carrier out of that 15%? Oh, you get to keep it all. No, I don't.
Yeah. No. Are you getting paid every fucking day or every week? Yeah. You think I got that bankroll? Yeah.
Do you pay for factoring services? No. Well, I get a really good rate because I'm bigger and I have really good revenue stream. But I think the standard rate is what, 2 to 3%. So you take, we'll just say out of 20%, you take that 3% out right there. Boom. So that puts you the carrier at 17%. And then most carriers on an 80-20, I think they pay like the insurance, the cargo or whatever they may pay. So you take that out, that puts them down at like, I don't know, maybe 15 to 14%. Then you're talking about ELDs, right? By FMCSA, the carrier's not supposed to charge for the ELD, right? So you take that out, then you take out what me as the owner, I get paid, right? You take that out, and then you take out, various other fees. By the time you get to the end of that 20%, usually it's anywhere between 1 to 3%.
Yep.
And at the end of the year, even for me, as good as we've done, my profit margin is right in line with that 3 to 5%. It's actually more like 1.5% is what I've been averaging profit-wise in my first 5 years. Now I'm hoping that it's true for small businesses. Once you get beyond that 5-year mark, that's when you really start to see the increase in your profit because obviously your overhead's lower, your equipment's lower, you've got lower rates on insurance costs and so on, to where I get more in line with that 3 to 5. That's the goal. That's why it's so hard for small businesses And
Yep.
it's
I've had the same bullshit said to me that, oh, you know, you're making all this money. I said, look, I got 2 employees. I said I have
yeah,
to pay 12% of their fucking taxes. All
yeah,
right.
mhm,
I gotta pay a payroll company to help take care of that. All right,
yeah,
because you got to pay local taxes. You got to pay what is it, the municipal tax and all that other bullshit.
property
Right.
taxes, all that.
Yep, yep, yep. So you got to have a payroll company be able to take all that out and do that.
Oh, that's not.
Because God forbid you try to do it yourself, you better have like an office staff of like 10 people. You know.
Yeah.
So I used to pay for that. I had to pay workers' comp. That, you know, first year I was paying like $700 as an employee a month because it was doing flatbed work.
Right.
You know, their insurance. I could not get a good rate on insurance. So what I did is I said, look, I will give you a voucher. So I would pay like $100, $100 check for insurance, and I told them to go on to what is it, the marketplace, you know, the insurance marketplace. I said, get it through them. I said, you'll get better insurance than I could ever offer. I said through them, and you know, I just can't afford to pay it.
Right.
You
And
know,
that was legal though, but because by the letter of the law, if you have employees, either the law it's weird how it reads, but essentially it comes down to either you as the employer pay for it in full or you pay a part of it. And that voucher program is actually a really popular.
yeah. Well, I didn't have to. It's still like 50 employees. It's still the cutoff for that.
What state are you in?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Okay, because I know, like for Missouri, in the state of Missouri, until I hit 5 employees, including me, right, I don't have to provide health
Oh,
insurance.
so you got them as okay. Well, that's
Right.
from what I was told. It was like federally.
There's two. That's what I'm saying. It's 2 different things, right?
I don't know. I didn't know. Maybe I missed that, but I'm sure it had to probably be about 5 or 10 too in Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah.
I can't remember.
The state, you got to look at your state first. So, like for me in Missouri, it's 5 or more, including me, right? So basically, with me and my wife, that's 2 employees. So if I hired 3 more employees, I'd have to provide medical insurance and workman's comp. Federally, it's 50 is when you have to provide it.
And that too. When I was looking to get more employees, I was because it was getting harder for me to dispatch.
Yeah.
I was thinking about hiring a dispatch service, and I was told I was an idiot for that too. And I said, look, if I ended up hiring my own dispatcher to fucking dispatch 4 or 5 guys, I said I would have to pay them at least $50,000 a year, plus the same thing. The same thing I would have to pay freaking with healthcare, this work, even though workers' comp would have been a lot cheaper because they weren't technically flatbed drivers, but it still would add up. I'd end up paying $60,000-$70,000 probably or more,
Yeah.
the whole total.
And that's the thing that a lot
and people don't think about that when they're talking, the fucking owner's making all this fucking money, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah. Well, there's a reason that they say that you really can't tell a true millionaire or billionaire by what he's wearing. There's a reason for that. It's because truthfully, you don't make a lot of money as a business owner. It's all in your assets. That's like Jeff Bezos has a salary of $80,000 a year. That's a salary. Where his wealth comes in is his stock and his assets, his company.
Yeah.
That's no different than me. My like for me, because I'm a vet, I'm a little different. Because I'm a vet.
Yeah, you get a little extra. Yeah.
I got the VA line, Streamline, and all that. But if I didn't have that, my salary is only $50,000 a year. That's it. My company generates a hell of a lot more than that, but I also pay a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah, they're only looking at gross numbers. They're not looking at what you have. Yeah.
Right. I mean, like for instance, last year, I haven't filed my taxes for this year yet. This is still being done, but last year as a carrier, we did 1.6 million. 1.6 million. All right. On my tax return.
Where's your Ferrari?
Shit.
Yeah.
I got a 20, dude. I got a 2021 Dodge Ram out there that my wife upgraded that for me last year, or no, the Christmas before that, and then I upgraded her car to a 2021 Scat Pack, and I'm good with that. I'm good. I'm believing.
Yeah. No, you already got like $1,200 in payments. Yeah.
Well, no, we actually got really good payments, but I'm good with that. We'll just say that. I'm happy with what we have. I'm not a flashy guy anyway. All right, I'm content.
Well, if you ain't buying something for yourself, what the fuck's worth making the money?
Right, exactly.
Fucking put it a hole in the ground.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, is that like on my tax return, you know, the goal when you're a small business owner, when you start doing the numbers at the end of the day, you want to get as close to that zero number as possible. You don't, you know, a lot of people are like, well, you got to put back for taxes. I'll tell you right now, I don't pay any money into that quarterly tax thing at all. I don't. Why? I'm not going to give the government an interest-free loan that they're not going to give me.
I don't even want to get in taxes. I fucked up way in the beginning when I became an owner operator. I'm still paying for it.
Right.
It's still fucking incredibly hard to find anybody to do trucking taxes too. At least out where I live.
I can put you in contact with somebody.
Yeah.
Call Taxation Solutions in Houston. All right. I'll tell you right now, like I said, I did 1.6 million last year. How much do you think I paid in taxes?
Out of 1.6. Well, you still have to deduct everything.
How much do you think I paid in taxes?
You personally, or is in the business?
Either one.
Well, last year, considering COVID and everything, I don't know, maybe 30 grand. Zero. Yeah, I was going to say zero, maybe two because of COVID, but
I have not paid $1 in taxes for my business since I opened it. And I have had the same accountant since day one. I'm not saying that they're shady. I'm not saying they're illegal. They know.
No, they're just following the tax code.
Yes. They know what they're doing. You're
investing more money in your business than you're putting in your pocket.
And that is why that is one of the reasons.
I would rather, that's a lot of the guys don't get that right. You know, I would rather put the money into my business than give it to the fucking, you know,
and
have them pay for drug addicts out, in Oregon and shit.
Well, see, you just said that, right? Invest in the business. So what's the best way for me with the current model that I have to invest in my business?
What's the best model? More drivers.
More equipment.
More equipment. Yeah. More equipment, more drivers. Yeah.
Yes. That is why if I find the right partner, I will go get a piece of equipment.
Yep.
It's a write-off for me. It's a write-off.
And it puts more, and it grows the business.
Yes. And then in turn, whoever I partner with, it then in turn also turns into a write-off for them because they are purchasing it as a business expense.
Yep.
It's a win-win. That's why I have no problem doing what I do.
And that's what guys fail to see. They ended up roping in business. The first thing they're doing is they're fucking going out and buying fucking Chargers and new pickup trucks. Not saying, I know you did, but you're already way beyond that point.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of people are like, oh, you spend too much. Look, I've been doing this for a while. I've built a lot of equity in what I do. When I first started, up until last year,
if shit hit the fan, shit hit the fan tomorrow, you could freaking take all the equity out of the equipment, sell the equipment and everything, and start over fresh, doing either just getting out or doing something totally different. Like look at Velox. He ended up going into repossession business.
Yeah.
And it's a smart idea right now too, because if you look at the market, repossession is going to be it probably already is booming. So,
well, I kind of feel a certain kind of way about it, but that's just me personally. But you're
right. Well, I mean, I guess it's a little dangerous. But
not only that, but I've always not really been a big fan of repossession guys for the simple fact of I don't like to see people capitalize on somebody else's misfortune. It really just sucks.
Well, the way I see it is they're not. Well, I guess they are technically but they're getting paid by the banks to basically take something back that's technically theirs. But
True.
It's just a shit. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it.
And that's what I understand.
I've been there. I had a divorce. I've had shit. But I wouldn't fucking blame the guy. Really, it's
the way it is. Yeah, and I understand that. And honestly, I hate to say it, but there's been times where I capitalize off somebody's misfortune because I seem to have a knack for finding equipment below what market value is. And I have no problem jumping on it. And if I do find that piece of equipment,
right now is the good time for it. If you got money and you got money and you're willing to invest and maybe sit on it for a little bit, right now is the time to fucking do it.
Yep.
You can go right now on Facebook Marketplace. I'm finding trucks again. You would not be able, I bought a 9400. All right. When this all kind of started, in the middle there in 2021. And, when I was looking for a cash truck first and I couldn't find one because people were asking way too much money for fucking junk.
Right.
So I went to a little dealership in Texas and bought originally I looked at a rebuilt, it was a rebuilt Cat 9400, but it got kind of bitted out technically underneath me.
Mhm.
So because the guy offered $5,000 or $6,000 more, and I was like, look, I'm not going to get in a bid war. Take the fucking truck, I guess.
Right.
So I ended up buying the sister truck to it that had a Cummins in it and had 600,000 miles on it. So pretty much what I'm trying to get at is, I paid $25,000 for that 9400, and technically it was probably worth, pre-COVID, I'd probably get one for 12, maybe 15,000. And I'm starting to see them again pop up for $10,000, $12,000,
Right.
which, and to the bank, because I ended up having a blown engine. That's how I ended up having this fucking T680 now, because I was like, all right, well, the engine blew up. I was like, hey, I paid all my payments. I have some equity in the truck. I said, how about I get a rebuild? Can I finance a rebuild? Well, the truck's not worth $40,000 anymore, sir. I could not get a rebuild. I could not get a rebuild for the truck because the market went down and nobody would finance it, even if I put money down.
Wow.
It was easier for me to put money down on this truck than it was to finance a rebuild.
That's crazy. I mean, I understand it though. I mean, I do understand.
Yeah, I do. I understand it too. But that's how fucked up the finance industry is right now with the way, the up and down and everything.
Well, and that's a result.
Because this they feel like if I fucking couldn't pay for it, which I'm paying a fucking heavy penny for it, like $4,000 a month.
Woo.
If I can't pay for it, they can find somebody to take this fucking truck.
Right.
Somebody will gladly buy this truck.
Or they'll at least send it to the auction and get what you
Yeah.
want. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and it is. It's really unfortunate way things are. It's like one of the things I was preaching when COVID was going on, and the market.
I'll make you uncomfortable. Hold on. I look. I can only do so much right now, guys. All right. I'm using my phone. If I had a laptop, I'd hand out wrenches and all kinds of shit. But this is what you guys got for right now.
That's like last year when the market was peaked, right? When it was at an abnormal level. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is the news." I'm like, I was like, no. This is like.
See, I waited too long to get back into that. I was like, this is gonna fucking take a shit any day now.
Yeah. Well,
when I got in, it was just bad timing.
It was a complete. The way that market was for freight rates for that period of time, that was like seeing a black hole. Okay, it was something that we will probably never ever see again.
$5,000 from Chicago to Newark, New Jersey.
Exactly my point. Yeah, you will probably never see that ever again.
No, probably not.
Now
that's like a $2,500 lane.
Correct. Now what you saw was not only were the rates up, but the price of equipment went up.
It didn't take long, but I would say that's the equipment shot up probably. When they figured out it was going to last for a while, I would say that took about 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months, and then it started slowly come up. And then when they finally at the auction, when they saw people were paying more, that's when it just fucking
took off.
$90,000 for 10-year-old reefer trailers and shit.
Exactly. Now the thing about that was I was preaching to people that don't buy equipment, don't do it. But people saw the money that was being made, and what did they do?
They bought it, made it worse.
Yeah.
But then again, you got to think of the other people that were coming in too. A lot of investors and shit. A lot of, I go to get into this. I'm going to invest. I don't even have a CDR. I just come over to America and make money out of it. Get the truck and buy it and just take a driver.
But there's something you have to understand about foreign culture and the way their families are, though. All right. Their culture and their families are way different than ours.
They're a lot more tight knit than they are now anymore. This ain't 1950s America anymore.
Yeah, they are very tight knit. They are very close, and an entire families
will work for almost free.
Right, and an extended family, literally, they will buy a home big enough where they all stay. So all that money they're making from that one truck
goes right into that.
Goes into that one home. No problem. That it works for them. It's successful. Unfortunately for us Americans, we like to buy equipment when the shit's at the peak because all we see is the damn diamond, the greenbacks that somebody else is being made, and don't understand how much it's costing us for this equipment, and then don't understand that the market's going to take a crap. And it did. It took a crap, and that what you're seeing now is the people that bought that trucks and equipment at $250,000, $90,000 for a 10-year-old reefer. It's coming back into the market because they can't afford to pay it.
People here know how to adjust brakes at least.
Right, exactly. Right? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm eating my Twinkie. I'm a Twinkie guy, right? I'm eating, but I'm glad to see equipment coming down. I mean, honestly, I'm taking advantage of it. We just got.
I actually didn't think it was going to. I figured. Well, I didn't think these dealerships were going to take a fucking hit like that. I didn't think they would ever let it. I figured they would end up going out of business and letting it fucking collapse before they would take a hit on like the equipment they got. But that just shows to show you how fucking much money they have sitting in the bank that are willing to take that much of a fucking hit.
Exactly.
I assume because they're still around. Like, you know, and look, how about this? If you want to know how fucking fucked up the market was, just look at Lone Mountain during that time. Did Lone Mountain have any goddamn trucks?
Nope.
No. Guess what Lone Mountain has? A lot of newer trucks actually right now. You know, newer used trucks with like 200, 300,000 miles on them. And they're talking about 2019s, 2020s. Yep. So you can tell right now what's happening.
Oh, yeah. People are losing their shit.
Yep.
They're losing it.
You go down here. Well, I'm not in Pennsylvania now, but you go up down Pennsylvania. You go what? Was it 80? Was it 83? They're on Truck Mart, whatever the hell it is. Yep. They were leasing out. They were leasing out dry van trailers for like $500 to $800 a week or some bullshit.
Really?
Guess what? Yeah. Guess what? They're full of dry van trailers again. And we were talking about, and when we're talking about dry van trailers, we're talking about these were used, beat up fucking Warner and Schneider trailers. They were leasing them out for like $500 a week.
And that's the part that frustrates me is
the guys are that dumb business minded that they would fucking do that and think they can make it.
See,
I'm not trying to call them, you know, like personally call them. I'm just saying for business minded, it's what causes the predatory bullshit that goes on. What causes the rates to fluctuate so bad. If
you'd have said that a year ago, I'd have probably agreed with you. I'm trying to be more professional nowadays.
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to say it fucks everybody in the end, you know, as a whole.
It does screw everybody as a whole, but it also, people need to take it as a learning experience that are watching it.
Oh, everyone's got to have a chance at time, you know.
Yeah, and like I said, it goes back. It's the basics of like 101, right? Yeah, it's like economics 101. When you go into stock market, you never buy at the peak. You want to buy when it's low.
Yeah.
The problem is we as Americans, all we see is the greenbacks, and we will buy at a peak, not understanding that the low is coming.
I made a video probably about a month or two ago. I said, look, for new owner uppers in 2023, if you're just getting into this, the best thing to do would be actually stay out of it, buy the cheap equipment, and just hold on to it until the market comes back.
Right. Yeah, no, I could agree with that.
Because right now, you know, everyone's like, oh, you should run, you know, but this is totally different than I would say 2018 and 19 was or whatnot. Everyone's like, oh, you should run it. And if you can make it through the worst, you'll be fine. This is different. This market is so flooded right now that all it would take is just a little bit fluctuation in, you know, politics or, you know, overseas stuff, and it would totally just destroy everything.
Well, when you say flooded, what do you mean by that?
I mean, I think there's a lot of trucks out here that probably are barely hanging on, or probably shouldn't even got in the truck in the first place.
Well, I would say probably in the drive-in. I would say, yeah.
Well, I know for a fact that flatbed is the same way too right now.
Is it?
Yeah, because I literally so when I started, well, actually, what's funny, I didn't want to do reefer when I got back into this. I've done reefer before and everything. I just didn't want to do it. I'm a flatbed guy. Well, I fucked up my meniscus, my knee, when I was actually loading my flatbed. The first day out, I was going to go. Right. So I jumped into reefer. And then when I jumped into reefer and I started getting the Chicago loads for $5,000 to fucking Newark and stuff, I was like, holy shit. I said, yeah, I'm going to stay in fucking reefer. So what the hell? Why would I go back to flatbed? You know, for what? Maybe I could make more. Maybe. So I stayed in reefer and I switched that, you know, and when reefer started going bad, I would say the whole market kind of started going bad. I was I did a delivery of water over in Long Island to BJ's, and I pulled up the load board that day, and I think it was, July of 2022, maybe
Right.
somewhere like that. And I pulled up the load board, and there were 60 loads in a 150-mile radius for reefer. I was like, what the F is going on?
Right.
You know, and that's when, from there on out, that's when it's just slowly been going down. And then I hopped back to flatbed, and flatbed was insulated for a while. But what happened is everybody started jumping on flatbed, and it started dipping that market too. And then I've held in there because I was with a company that I've had kind of relationship with the guy that ran it, AFC Transport, and I was with them for probably longer than I should have, because I could see that, spot market and stuff was going down, and they were flooded as a carrier, so they were still trying to, what dedicated loads they had to now take those dedicated loads that everyone was like clamoring for because the spot market was going down, and then try to disperse them, distribute them throughout all the other guys. So, you could, you still got shit on pretty much. It wasn't their fault. It's just what happened. Nobody thought the market would drop out like that.
Right.
So I held in there until the end, and I was like, look, I got to make a change. And that's when I ended up finding a dedicated with Tyson here. I run, per mile, I run a rate, and it can range anywhere from, $2.50 a mile to $3.05 a mile. And you know what's great? I don't have to look at the fucking load board every morning and sit there for 4 or 5 hours and fuck around. Right. I don't have to do any of that. I just Tyson tells me where I want to go, where they want me to go. If I agree, I just go do it,
And that's under your numbers, right?
No.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, yeah, Tyson is a good one to do that with. They really are. We're getting to the size now where we could almost potentially get in. Tyson actually requires.
Yeah, you got, I think, 15 trucks or something.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
You got to have 15 to get in with Tyson. And they do. They pay well. And
when I was doing spot market, I was running for them pretty much, not exclusively, but a lot right out of the Pottsville area. I was doing, I could do $2,800 on going from Pottsville over to North Jersey, Newark. What is it? Shit, I can't remember the name of the people out there, but it was like basically New York, Toms River, and I would end up in South Jersey somewhere. And it'd be $2,800 for 3 stops. And I do all 3 in one day. If not, it was the next day, and I'd come back and, pick up another load.
Right. See, that's a good deal. I mean, if you got something like that going on, stick with it, dude. I mean,
well, that was when I was running spot market with that other carrier. Now I get it. I get a mileage pay, so.
Right.
But my costs are, I have no cost. I'll gross like $6,000 to $7,000. They pay for reefer fuel. They pay for washouts. They reimburse tolls. What the fuck do I have to pay for? I have this truck to pay for. That's it.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, you got a good gig going on. Stick with it. Stick with that. I mean, what you got going on.
Trust me, I did not want to go out and buy a brand new fucking truck, but I just, just one.
There's a pro and con to everything. There's a pro and con. The pro is, one, you were able to stay in business. Okay. Number 2, okay, you got a newer truck, maybe a higher payment. I'm sure it's got a hell of a warranty on it.
Oh God, yeah. It's like 600,000 miles.
There you go.
It's over warranted actually, and I'll probably get rid of it before the warranty's even up.
There you go. So you've got a really good, like you said, doing $6,000 to $7,000, doing what you're doing. That is really, really good, dude. Believe it. I mean, listen, if you're doing power only like that, and you have that kind of a gig with Tyson, who is a huge company, people are going to eat. All right.
No, that's what I figured. It's almost recession proof.
It is. And that's what I keep telling people about reefer. Reefer is recession proof. People got to eat. It's not like the 1950s and 40s and 30s.
I tell you what, I'm already looking at flatbed loads on DAT and stuff, and I do not see. There should already be that push.
It's not there.
And the only thing I see coming, I see a couple mulch loads and stuff like that, but But the lumber loads and stuff, the steel loads, I do not see the push like there usually is. It's probably worse than I've seen it, ever before. Even 2019, it's worse than that.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying is there. Well, here's one of the reasons. One, it's not there. Two, they've slowed down building houses. That's why it's not.
Oh,
there.
the house market's totally. Fuck it. I don't think they want to. I don't think they're going to say it, but in my opinion, I think the housing market's on its way to be 20. What is it? 2008 all over again.
Yeah,
I think we gotta. It might not be to the extent of the bubble that it was, but there's a bubble.
Well, you got banks that once again gave bad loans, so.
Yep, they started their shit all over again. We'll bail them out all over again.
I'm good. I mean, the mortgage I got, I'm like,
mine's paid.
yeah.
I bought a shitty, cheap little cash house in fucking Pennsatucky. So.
Oh, Pennsatucky.
Yeah, I call it Pennsatucky. Yeah.
Yeah, they. I mean, my mortgage rate's low, but I got mine through the VA, and it's like I'm good. I know I'm good. So.
Oh yeah, yours ain't fucking doing anything.
Yeah. So I mean, and you're right. The housing market's on way down. It's probably going to bust. They're not building houses. That's why one of the reasons why I'll tell you right now, what flatbed needs is a good natural disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I will have to say though, that got when what the hell is that hurricane that came into Florida recently? The one that hit Fort Myers and all that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what happened with all that because, maybe I don't know if they contracted out to certain people or whatnot, but those rates going into Florida there they weren't anywhere near what they were in the past.
Yeah, they did. A lot of the bigger carriers sucked it up.
That's the only thing I could think of, but that usually doesn't happen. They usually don't give it to the bigger carriers.
Yeah, but when you got the bigger carriers that can move it faster, and they got the
no, maybe that's what happened. But I just saw the rate. Like I did do a shingle load down out into like Orlando area that paid like $4 a mile.
Right. Well,
like I was looking at equipment loads that normally would have went down there for like $5-6 a mile. They're paying like $2.80.
Right.
Shit that used to be, when that would happen, you would see the $5 and $6 a mile, loads, the rates come up for flatbed and step deck, and none of that never really came to fruition. Yeah, fruition.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what you got to look at is one, in that situation, you got to look at the administration that was in office. Our administration is in FEMA. They're going to have FEMA contracted out to like the bigger carriers. They just are. They just are. They're pro-union and all that other good jazz. So that's exactly what they did. I guarantee it.
Yeah, even Gary Bates says how's the market's going down. Everyone's saying they got a crazy mad respect for you.
Oh, I appreciate that, guys.
No one cares about me apparently. And now let's see.
I appreciate that, guys. What's that one comment? He says, I've been running reefer.
Yeah, that's what I was just reading right now.
To do my own comparison because I don't trust speculative data. Difference in spot is nominal. What do you mean by the word nominal?
I don't know. I just did. I wish I could have actually, wrote it, but I ended up having kids over. But I just did a robot reading of what was it? FreightWaves report, and right now I've noticed. You know how FreightWaves when this shit first started hitting the fan, they kind of started sounding kind of like the news. They were getting like a little crazy about it.
Right.
Drumming up the drama, I guess. And now they're not really getting crazy about the market going down. But if you read through read what they're actually saying, FreightWaves is pretty much guaranteeing that this is going to continue to go down, and it might plateau depending on a few variables. And like they even mentioned the student loan bull crap. If they actually go through, and this is stuff that shouldn't even deal with trucking, but this is the economy.
Yeah.
So if they end up paying back these student loans or doing whatever the hell they're thinking about forgiving them, it's going to drive interest rates through the roof.
They won't do it. Well, I can tell you right now, they're not going to do it.
I sure as hell hope they aren't dumb enough to do it, but if they do, it's going to. I already think we're in a recession, to be honest with you. And if they do that, we're just going to go.
Dude, we've been in a recession.
Because what people are like, oh, these big companies, they're going to still be building and doing this and doing that. they aren't fucking big companies because they're fucking stupid. They'll sit and wait 2 or 3, 4, 5 years until they get the rate they want to borrow money and fucking build. They're not just gonna be like, yeah, let's just fucking build a warehouse even if we don't need it. We'll spend this fucking 25% rate.
Right.
Because
well, see, Shannon, you're right. I mean, my wife, we got a letter out of nowhere that said that a lot of my wife's student loans were forgiven. But I will tell you this is that the Supreme Court did step in and actually said that the way they did it was unconstitutional. So they're trying to figure out how to rewrite it to work around all that crap. But I had to look up the definition of nominal. I'll tell you this, Music City Transport. Here's the thing. Understand this, okay? And it's a very, very hard lesson that I had to learn up until probably this last year. On the spot market freight is garbage freight. We'll put it that way. It's garbage freight. It's freight that is left over. It's freight that nobody else wanted to take. It's freight that they just need to get it moved. The whole design behind the open market, the spot market, was for backhauls. And that's the way it's designed today. Unfortunately, but small carriers like us use it as our main means of, putting all our eggs in one basket. If you want to be successful in this and you're going to do this for the long haul, you need to learn and really, really target and get to the freight that does not get on the load board. Like, for instance, what Jackknife pulls. He's pulling Tyson. I guarantee you that stuff never sees the light of a load board. The kind of freight that we pull never sees the light of a load board. And then I will guarantee you will not use that word nominal, because there is a huge difference between reefer freight and what dry freight pays. On the spot market is really,
there's always been,
but there is believe me, there is a stark difference in dry van freight and reefer freight.
Unless you're pulling like dry van freight for the federal government and it's got munitions in it or some bullshit,
Yeah.
But,
you're the one that rented Velox's trailer to see if you could. Dude, he overpaid for that trailer, and you got to carry the burden of that expense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did buy that at the top of the market too.
I'm sorry, he did. So I hate to hear that. He did. That trailer, I think he was wanting to get rid of it for like 50 something grand. That's way too expensive for the year. And what kind of reefer he's got on the front of that? That's an older unit as well.
Probably like 35, 40 grand. Most.
More.
More. What do you mean more? What do you pay for it?
He was what he was wanting to sell it for. Yeah.
Well, I meant that's probably about what it's worth. I mean,
it's probably not even worth that much.
No, that.
No.
Well, I know there for a while they were reefer. What the hell? I was looking at like an 07 reefer, and the guy wanted like $48,000 for an 07 reefer with like 17 or 18,000 hours on. I was like, you're fucking joking. Get the fuck out.
I can tell you right now, I know where you can get 2016s for under $40,000.
Oh yeah, I know. Yep. I know now. It's right coming way down.
It's a 2016 Vanguard. Yeah, he's asking way too much.
I was just looking on Marketplace earlier today, and there's 2010s. People are selling 2010 reefers for like $25,000, $26,000.
Yep.
And they have 15,000 hours on them, whatever, 12,000 hours.
Yep. The ones
they're just trying to get out as quick as they can.
Exactly. They're going to lose their rear end on it. Yeah, I think he bought that one originally for 50, 51, I think. And it's a Vanguard. Vanguard reefers are extremely heavy. I would never buy a Vanguard reefer.
Well, it's just like, what the hell else is heavy? The Great Dane reefers are pretty heavy too. They're well built, but they're fucking heavy.
They're heavy. Yeah. I'll pull a 3000R all day long. All day long. That's what I'll pull.
I'm trying to think what reefer I like.
I will respectfully disagree that the difference in reefer to dry van is nominal. It's not. Believe me, it's not. You got to get to the freight. You got to get into the produce. You got to get into the meat. You got to get into the freight that is not getting on the load board.
I tell you what, if you're not hauling reefer right now and you're not consistently doing over 250 a mile, you're doing something wrong. Even still, right now.
That's easy money. Yeah. Let's see. See if
Where I'm at doesn't have a reef. Oh yeah, Shannon's with Dart, so they don't have their dry van only.
I thought Dart had a reefer.
I think they did for a little bit and they got out of it, but this was way before like 2020, 21 stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Music City Transport. That's exactly what I'm saying. It is night and day, but that's what I'm saying. If you're going to do this for any kind of look, here's one of the biggest problems. Do not treat trucking as a hustle.
Yep.
This industry is billions and trillions of dollars. Get your piece of it. Get into the freight that nobody sees. Everybody says it's extremely hard, which it can be.
The niche market.
Get into that niche. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where you might have to do more than just
like
drive it down the road. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm assuming if
that's what I told James. I said he should, I said if he's trying to get into mulch, he should get into bulk mulch then if he can, and do walking floor. You can make like $140 an hour doing walking floor.
Let's see here. What do we get? My numbers haven't caught up for this month because of the way February works. I hate February. It needs more days. Yeah, last month we did 275 all miles. All miles was what we did. Now keep in mind I also still have 2 dry vans that are still working as well. So that's a really good average for a fleet. 275 average all miles.
Music City said O'Reilly did $6 billion last year alone.
Right.
You talking about O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'Reilly the carrier?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Get your piece of it. I mean, if you're going to pull a reefer and you're in the Tennessee area, I mean, you easily could get into produce all day long. You got melons in that area. You got potatoes. You got chicken. You got all sorts. You got pork.
That's hard. You got to make like professional phone calls and emails to get into that. You can't just point and click.
Yeah.
There's still guys out here. Like I've watched some YouTube channels lately, and they're still touting like fucking JB Hunt 360 and shit.
I don't use
I do not understand how the fuck anybody's making it right now on JB Hunt 360.
Yeah.
Unless you're just one of the lucky ones, but holy shit.
I don't know the last time I used a load board. I really don't. Ever since we got to where we are now with pulling the dedicated freight that we're pulling, I honestly cannot remember the last time I used.
When I was doing flatbed, I was using a lot of my old contacts, my broker contacts. And when shit started getting bad, like I don't know if it's just because there were so many trucks out there. I guess maybe I didn't get a hold of them quick enough.
Right.
But like even they couldn't help me. Like they were like, "Oh, we already got everything covered. We can't, this and that. We can't move it for that rate and stuff." So, and these are brokers that I've used for years that practically know like how many kids I got and everything.
There's one broker I have one really good relationship with, and he's already, and he knows if I call him, I'm looking for something to get to a certain spot. Well, that's why I say is that, and I'm going to preach it and preach it and preach it and preach it and preach it. If you have to do this for any kind of longevity, get to the freight that don't hit the load boards.
Yep.
Instead, make the professional phone call. Call these places directly. If you go to a Tyson and you're picking a load up, just happen to ask them, how can I get in contact with your shipping place? Now, here's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, it's just a transportation. No, some of these places you may have to call that their headquarters, the person you're going to talk to is in Maryland.
Yep.
More.
Well, they'll transfer you over to somebody. If it's Tyson, they'll transfer you over to somebody in Arkansas.
Yes, it takes work.
I forget the guy's name, but
yeah, I know who you're talking about. But I'm
not going to say it either, and I'm going to get the number out or anything else like that.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the point is you have to put the work in to make the phone calls, and you'll be surprised though, because believe it or not, these places want to work with small carriers.
I would say Tyson's a little bit of an exception.
they want to.
But you're not. But you're not going to go. You're not going to call up Costco and get in Costco or anything like that, or like what is it, Kraft or something. Like I would first start at these smaller industrial park areas, and then guys don't even think about that. Like your smaller. I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of a small food. Like a Reinhardt. Reinhardt's a small food.
Yeah.
Reinhardt. Yeah, maybe because I kind of had something going there a little bit with U.S. Foods, which I was surprised.
Yes.
I was hauling out of what was it, Port Royal over here a lot for U.S. Foods, taking it up to Newark, and then coming back down. But that's probably, I don't think that's probably feasible anymore.
Walmart's a good one. You can get in with Walmart.
Absolutely. Yeah, Walmart. There's some Walmarts out in the Royal areas that'll take on owner operators, like
You can get on with them doing power only and stuff like that, especially if you got a DC near you. They definitely will do that.
Yeah, if you're in a rural area around Walmart, DC, you can do it. But if you're anywhere near a city or heavy highways, though,
right.
What is it? US Express got all that locked down, Swift and stuff.
But the most important thing, though, is
you got to basically be a solution to their problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you got to find out, and you'll never know unless you make the call.
Yep.
That's the whole problem. Is everybody wants to bitch about it, pick up the phone.
Well, it's even like guys or people are like, oh, Walmart, you're late to a Walmart appointment, and you'll never get in there no matter what. This appointment that I'm stuck on right now, yeah, I got screwed. But if you're taking a Walmart appointment at night, as long as you can get it there before 5 o'clock in the morning and you call professionally and ask for the floor supervisor, you can usually still get into Walmart, even if you're 2, 3, 4 hours late. As long as it's before 5 a.m.
Yeah, either that or if you also if you contact that distribution center's transportation.
Yeah, you go traffic. You call it traffic.
You call traffic. They'll get you.
And you go up traffic and usually talk to her, or you ask for the floor manager, and they'll transfer you over to the floor manager.
Now here's another little. I'll drop this nugget out here. Here's a little jewel. If you are a veteran and you are an owner operator or have your own MC number, get certified through the SAMS process to get government contracts.
Yep. Yeah. That SAMS thing though ain't as good as it used to be. No, I don't know what they did that. I don't know what they did to that website and shit, but.
Yep. Get certified and you can get government contracts like mail contracts. You can get those all day long and they pay well. It'll also automatically set you up for FEMA as well. And here's the thing. People are like, oh, I haul FEMA loads all the time. Let me tell you something about pulling FEMA. You will take your stuff down there, right? And more than likely you're going to drop it. You're going to drop it. If they let you stay hooked to it, you're going to sit there until they unload you. Now, they may unload you or they may not unload you in a reasonable amount of time.
You better be getting paid for it.
You're going to get paid when the government decides to pay you. You're going to wait.
There ain't going to be no next day,
It's going to be like 45.
Although you can factor that stuff though.
Yes, you can factor it. You can factor it.
And factor companies love government work.
No, they don't. Don't lie. Don't lie. But yes, if you're a veteran, get set up to do that. Because all your contractors can benefit from that. Shoot, man. I don't know. I could talk for days on it. It's just there's so much there. There's so much.
And people just don't, they pull up YouTube, they listen to the guys hustle them into their program or whatever the fuck. That's what fucked a lot of this market up that we got now is a lot of people got hustled into shit that have no idea what they're doing.
Yep.
And then they get these leased trucks and stuff. They start calling themselves CEOs and all this other bullshit.
Well, the other thing that really aggravates me, and I really wish people, and this is my mentality. I can't stand the fear monger, right? I get it that shit is tough. I get it that stuff is hard.
Shannon, with one truck, if you go into these small industrial complexes that are local, that have like local, I don't know, like let's say they manufacture windows and they have like they only like do the East Coast or something like that. You can be one, but look at BOC. He was doing it. You can get into these small manufacturers and warehouses, and as a single owner operator, you
Yeah.
can.
The only problem you may have as a single owner operator is whether you are the owner of the numbers or not. That'll be the only problem. So
And you got to think about it now that you're a single owner operator and you're basically moving this entire company's or majority of this company's freight.
Yep.
What happens when you break down? So you better have a plan B real quick, because guess what? You're probably not going to pull freight for them anymore after that, because they can't rely on you.
well, let me dive into that some. All right. So with your scenario, Shannon, the answer to your question is yes. In a lot of these smaller places, you can as a single owner operator. Now, here's the kicker. You don't own the MC number. DART does, right? Now, according to this is where it gets really, 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 really tricky. Okay. So for instance, you are an owner operator. Technically, you're a business owner, a contractor. DART, by law, cannot tell you what you can and cannot haul. They can't do it. They can't dictate. They're not supposed to.
They will.
So exactly. Unfortunately, they will. And they're completely 100% wrong for that. So, for instance, you walk into one of these smaller places and say, hey, do you guys deal with single trucks and you use a truck? And they're like, yeah, we got 15 loads that need to get moved over the next month. Okay, what are you willing to pay for it? Well, we're willing to pay $1,500 on whatever.
I'll tell you what, right now, if DART factors at all, it's going to be really hard for her to, if she wanted to do something like that, because that's the same thing I ran into. They would not accept me getting a check, because if the factoring company found out I was,
and
taking
see, that is actually against the labor laws. They're completely 100% wrong for that.
But that's what ended up screwing me about doing dedicated. It would have to go through the factoring company, and then if the factoring company never worked with these people directly, so they wouldn't okay it, so
it ain't got nothing to do with the factoring company. The carrier was wrong for that.
Yeah,
that's just like any of my guys. I've told all my guys, if you get a direct customer, let me know. We got it. We got you back. The carrier, the factoring companies ain't got nothing to do with it. That carrier cannot stop you from getting a customer. They can't do it.
See, what they told me is they couldn't accept cash, like a check from them. They would have to go through the factoring company, or they would, I guess.
Listen to me. By the labor laws, they cannot stop it. If they do, they are in violation of the labor law. They are distinguishing you as an employee versus being a contractor.
Yeah.
Because the way every labor law in every state has that one thing in there. They can, in order for you to be a contractor, they cannot dictate your profit nor your loss. Basically, they dictated you from making a profit.
Here, Shannon said she can't haul hazmat now because she's off spot market. They won't let her haul hazmat.
Wow.
Because, well, she says they tell me they said they tell me I cannot haul hazmat now that I'm on spot market, when I was one of their top hazmat drivers when running their contract rate.
Okay, my question to them would be, number one, I would ask why, and has my insurance changed, and am I under a different set of numbers? Because if you're just on the spot market and you're not doing their contract rate, the numbers and the insurance should be the same. So why are they dictating to you what you can haul? Once again, letting these bigger companies just walk all over you guys. They can't do that.
She said DART is a carrier and a factoring company.
And an insurance company. So basically they're self-insured.
Oh yeah, most large carriers are.
Yep.
Which I kind of think that's a little fucking goofy game going on too, but
yeah, they can't do that. They can't dictate that to you guys.
I think they should have to pay into insurance just like everybody else fucking does.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there's a requirement. I think they got to have at least $1 million.
Yeah, they got to have $1 million assets sitting or something like that. I think it depends on the state too. Some of them are a little higher.
Listen, guys, with these labor laws and stuff, the way that they're changing and everything, they are really, really tricky. They're very, very sensitive. Make sure that you're exercising your rights as owner operators. These guys,
if not, go elsewhere. Don't let them fucking railroad you.
they cannot. Yeah, if you are carrying the designation as a lease operator and as a owner operator, and you have an LLC and your own business, they cannot dictate that to you.
I will say this: if you're an owner operator, you don't have an LLC. Banks, a lot of financial institutions will not view you as a real company. The old days of sole proprietor are over unless you are already well established as a sole proprietor, and you can like have receipts. Those days are over. They've had too many people become sole proprietors that have no idea technically you can be an LLC and know not what you're doing too, but they're done with that.
Well, I don't know why anybody would be a sole proprietor anyway. I mean, that's suicide. That's tax suicide.
Because they're lazy. They don't want to do the extra work to pay $120.
So one paper and $120.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, she said I do have a see. There you go. So in other words, Shannon is completely separate from Shannon Thomas Trucking. So it's completely different. You are actually you're set up the way that I'm set up, except I'm not a C corp. I am an S corp. So yes, that's good. That is good, and that gives you.
But she's actually, I'm surprised she went all the way out and got a C corp. There's a lot of legwork you got to do with that.
Well, she's got to keep more records.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know anybody that would want.
I've been thinking about going over to an S corp, but just paying myself a W-2.
You should. You really should.
I have been thinking about it, but there's so much bullshit out there about do this, do that, do this. It's and like I said, finding an actual knowledgeable tax associate in trucking, unless I go over to Newark, New Jersey, or something, and then I'd be lucky if I could even understand what the hell they're trying to tell me.
Call Taxation Solutions down in Houston, Texas. Tell them James sent you.
All right.
James from Spartan Direct sent you. All right. They all right. So the way it works is this. I'll just kind of break it. I'm going to give you a summary. If you're a sole proprietor, right? Everybody in this God-given world is a sole proprietor. Your kids are sole proprietors, grandchildren are sole proprietors. You're a sole proprietor from the day that you were birthed from your mother's womb. You're a sole proprietor. Okay. Basically, what that means is you are doing business as, and you have a fictitious name, and it's all tied to your social security number. As a sole proprietor, it's 100% pass through. Now, here's where it gets fun. We'll just say you earn $40,000, right? You're going to pay not only your personal income tax, right? For you, you're going to pay an employment tax, self-employment tax, federal taxes, all that on that entire $40,000. So by the time you add it all up, it's something like a 72% tax rate is what you're going to pay. Now, people that go out and get an LLC, that is a good move. All right. There are some tax benefits to an LLC because as a LLC, now you can set yourself up on a W-2 and a payroll, right? Plus it gives you a little bit of other protections. Now, the part about it though that's tricky is most people don't take those extra steps, right? So as a single member LLC, you're still taxed just like a sole proprietor. Okay, so if you don't do the right things, you're still going to get taxed just like a sole proprietor. So you could potentially end up with that 72% tax rate. Again, that's why it is important to try to set up as an S corp or a C corp for the simple fact of you separate yourself, right? So
yeah, you separate yourself completely from the company. Yeah.
So now, and I'm going to use the number.
The company is its own entity, and you are your own entity. Yeah.
Right. But the way it works for taxes is just like this: is that we'll just use the number $100,000, right? We'll say Jackknife TV earns $100,000. Okay. You pay yourself, Mr. Knife, $40,000 a year in a salary, right? So out of that $100,000, you're paying yourself $40,000. That $40,000 is going to get taxed
at $40,000 at that tax bracket
on the personal income side, right? Now, The $60,000 that's left is going to get taxed at the corporate tax rate, right? Now, listen to this. Listen to this kind of magic.
You cut self-employment tax out of that.
Correct. Right. So listen, but here's the other magic that comes with this, right? You, as the owner, Mr. Knife, are the owner of Jackknife TV, right? We'll say at the end of the quarter, you have that $60,000 in profit. You want to pay yourself a little extra something, right?
Yep. You take a draft.
You can take a draft, and guess what?
It's not taxable.
That money is non-taxable.
Yeah.
Because it's already been taxed. On average, companies that are set up as S Corps or C Corps save, on average, per $100,000, save an average of $12,000 in tax liability a year.
Yep. Boom. That there's also to that too. You can't, like, you get a lot of guys that think, oh my God, it's the end of the year. Let's go out and blow a lot of freaking money on Chrome and stuff. You know?
I'm buying equipment.
Yeah.
I have certain times of the year that I will go buy equipment.
You buy, if you go do stuff like that and you can take a write-off, you buy something that generates you revenue.
Correct.
Yeah. Not look shiny, not lays rubber down on the ground. Something that generates you revenue.
I will at certain times of the year. That's why it's important to communicate with your accountant. Okay. Because any good accountant worth their salt and weight, they're going to tell you whether you need to spend money, invest money, or what you need to do with it. My accountant has no problem calling me and saying, dude, go buy equipment, or, hey, you need to buy tires.
A lot of people out here don't even know that what is it? If your vehicle weighs whatever, like 6,000 pounds, is it? If your weight is that the cutoff, 6,000 or 8,000 pounds, you can write that vehicle off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can write your personal vehicle off too. If you're,
well, I thought it depended on weight. I thought there was a weight classification for it.
Those two vehicles I got out there, I write them off every year ever since I've owned them. You can put them on your business name. You can do all sorts of stuff. The only time I ever drive my pickup is when I'm doing business at home.
And you just write all those miles off. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, I write every bit of it off.
To and from the yard, I would write the miles off. Well, not from, but to the yard.
I write them off all the time. Sure do. I mean, I love the way that Donald Trump worded it. I know it's corrupt. Well, how do you know it's corrupt? I use it.
Yep.
And it's not that it's really corrupt. He just
Well, the way I see it, though, here's the same thing. Most normal public, when they view people that start a business or own a business, they automatically think that they're sitting back, taking it easy. Now, Jeff Bezos might be taking it easy because he pays other people to take his problems on. Yeah. He doesn't deal with them. He's gotten so big that he pays other people to deal with his problems. So yes, of course you see him just fucking getting on his jet and doing all that shit. But for the majority of small business owners, they are 100% invested and have that thought in the back of their mind. Any day shit could come crashing down.
Hold on, I gotta correct a statement. Music City said if you move money from an S Corp to an employee, the employee will pay income tax. Incorrect. It's already been taxed.
It's already been corporate. Whatever money's left after you do corporate taxes is already been taxed.
Yep, it's already been.
So taxed. You're just taking whatever's left of the profit for that year.
Correct. So
unless you're not paying taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, if you pay when that out of that, he paid himself $40,000 in salary. He had the $60,000 that was left, right? That $60,000 is already taxed at the corporate rate and all that good stuff. As the owner, right? Or if you have stockholders, shareholders, whatever, as a S Corp, you can take a draft. Don't matter how much the draft is. Once you take that draft, it is non-taxable income. It don't get taxed. It don't.
Yeah, because that was the money that was already left over after it was taxed at a corporate rate. Yeah.
I didn't write the tax laws. That's the way tax law works, though.
Now, now if that wasn't set up as an S corporate and everything, and you didn't pay corporate taxes out of that, that would basically be your self-employment tax you'd be paying out of that.
Listen to me, Music City Transport. Listen to me. when you take a draft as a S corp, it is not taxed on the personal side. I've been doing this multiple years. It is not taxed. It's already taxed. That's the benefit to being an S corporation or a C corporation. That is how stockholders get their bonuses and they're tax free. That's how they do it. Simple. Corporation pays tax as its own entity and you pay. No, you don't pay income tax on it. Sure don't. They can't do that because they're double dipping. The IRS and the federal government can't do it. It actually says it in the tax code. They cannot do that because you can't tax that twice. That's why when like you had the $100,000, right? You pay the $40,000 in salary. That $40,000 is not taxed at the corporate rate. It's actually taxed on the personal side. The business pays the federal
12% tax on the employee. Yeah.
Yes. Pays
So,
income. Go ahead. I'll let you take it from there. Go ahead.
yeah, then the corporation pays the 12% on the employee, so that makes up for the Medicare and all that other bullshit. And then after that, the business gets taxed on its own corporate level, and what's left over is the gross profit from the business, and that can be and since it's already been taxed, it's not technically income for a draft. It's a I forget what they call it.
Called like a dividend or something like that.
So yeah.
It's something like a dividend. They got a word.
If I had fucking Wi-Fi was hooked up, well, I could probably look it up. But yeah.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't. I mean, you pay your salary. That's why I say is like for me, right? My salary is set at $52,000 a year. I pay my salary $52,000 a year. I pay my personal income taxes as usual, just like I would at any other job on that $52,000 a year. My company, just like you said, pays the 12% for having the employees and all that stuff.
Through, yeah.
And all that good jazz to where I do that. And then whatever profits left or whatever, that's where it gets taxed at the corporate rate. And then for the self-employment rate of like 34% or something like that. But once all that is said and done, right? Whether it's once a quarter or at the end of the year, if I have $100,000 sitting there in profit and I say, you know what? I worked my rear end off this year. I'm going to pay myself a $10,000 bonus, right? I can take a $10,000 bonus and pay it to James Rogers, me as the employee, and it's not taxed again at all. The company doesn't pay tax on it again. And me as the individual does not pay tax on it either. It's completely tax-free dividend as an S corp. That's the way it works. 100%. There's no tax paid on it again because it's already been taxed on the corporate side. They can't tax you as a personal.
And if you ever want to go one step further, you take that money and you invest it back in your company.
Oh.
And then it just keeps building like a snowball. Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Big difference between just being a trucker and a steering wheel holder than running a business. Oh, let's see what we got. Shannon said having a business is beautiful. It can be. It can be. It's not hard to make it horrible. All you have to do is hire the wrong people.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
He says, hold on. He says S corp doesn't pay income tax. The P&L determines available capital available to the shareholders. You are.
Well, that's not an S corp. That's a C corp.
Yeah, you're talking about a C corp right there.
Yeah, with a C corp with shareholders and
shareholders is a C corp.
Yeah, that's a little more complicated.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to understand the difference between an S corp and a C corp.
An S corp really is just an LLC with a distinction in the IRS's eyes as it's like a corporate entity, I guess, or something like that.
Like somebody's got board members.
Yeah.
You got like board members. If you are a multi-member LLC, you can register as a C corp because you have multiple members, or you may have multiple partners, or you may have board members like
And they would take a percentage of that gross profit. Yeah.
like Tesla. Tesla's a C corp. Amazon, they're C corp. They've got like CEOs, CFOs, CBFOs, and whatever UFOs.
Well, I thought if I just lease a truck from Prime, I'm a freaking CFO or CEO or.
So far from it. So far from it. But as an S corp, you know, you can be a S corp is essentially a single member LLC. You can have a partnership, but what you're doing as an S corp is you are separating yourself as the individual from your company, to where, like for me, Spartan Direct, I own Spartan Direct.
And look, when you do stuff,
Yeah.
when you do stuff like this, you do like what Jane was saying. I guess this is what he was freaking out about, because I guess he doesn't want to take the risk. There is a bigger risk when you start doing this. The numbers get very big, very fast.
Very big, very fast.
Yes, because I've been in this, and I'd probably be farther if I didn't get a divorce. But anyway, it's the responsibility is. Like I said, you get those phone calls in the middle of the night, those large breakdowns, those where you got to take the credit card, pull it out, and there goes $10,000 right there and shit. And you know, there needs to be rewards for that. And like I said, when it sounded like they were going to start going after you about predatory lending or whatever, I said, look, you know, he's the one taking all the risks. Now it'd be different if you weren't showing him the rate confirmations and shit like that, and doing the bullshit that like what the Eggo waffle does or whatever. But you know, it's inevitable. If you run a business, you're putting your your ass out on the line.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, it is right. And hold on, I got to respond to this.
Yeah.
I have a bachelor's degree in business with a major in economics. You don't have to take my word, but you're not completely accurate. Okay. I'm
probably not. I mean, he's not reading it word for word, but
yeah, exactly. So here's going to be my response, and take it however you intend to take it. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and an associate's in psychology, but we're still truck drivers here. That's why I pay an accountant.
I didn't even know I could do that.
I pay an accountant. Believe me, I pay an accountant an extreme amount of money to keep me out of tax problems. And I assure you, it is not taxed twice as an S corp. Okay. Every year I pay myself a bonus, and it is not taxed on the personal income side.
If there would be no benefits of having an S corp.
Correct. It is taxed 100%. At the end of the year, boom. If I got $100,000 and I say I want to pay myself $10,000, I pay myself $10,000. It is not taxed as personal income because it's already been taxed on the business side. I pay them a shit ton of money to make sure to keep me out of trouble. Somebody hit you?
I keep hearing like someone sound like they're fucking moaning or some bullshit. Like someone's out here fucking dying in their truck or something.
Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, call an accountant and talk to him. Don't believe me. Don't know what else to say about that.
What was it? Let's see. Shannon said she needs a new accountant too.
Call Taxation Solutions in Houston. That's what they do. They specialize in logistics and transportation industry. They're also like a business advisor kind of deal. They've got they do all sorts of stuff. They do like, I mean, they do all sorts of stuff. And they do, I mean, every quarter we have a meeting. They will call me randomly through the quarter to be like, look, you need to spend this amount of money. We need to talk about this. Recently they talked to me about potentially setting up like 401ks or IRAs for me and my wife to try to alleviate some of the tax responsibility. Because when you look, and this is what I was saying over there on the other side, was that sometimes I forget that the people that I talk to are just single truck owner operators, right? Because look, when you start making a lot of money, you try to find ways to protect your money from the government taking it. You know what I'm saying? And they will. The government will take it.
Oh yeah, they'll take it real fast too.
And you just try to find ways to mitigate some of that tax responsibility, whether it be IRAs, 401ks, potentially investing in buying, the company actually providing, employer-based healthcare.
Bonds aren't taxable.
Right. It turns into tax write-offs. It turns into ways that you can keep it from being taxed.
Government bonds.
Right. I mean, when you start having that kind of cash flow or money flowing through a business,
you got to watch it.
You've got to watch it. And honestly, I'm not smart enough to do it. I'll tell you right now, I'm not smart enough to do it. I would say Music City Transport has the education to sit here and do it. I'm not that smart to sit here and do it. That's why I invest money into an accountant or in a CPA and their whole crew to do that for me. You know what I'm saying?
And it adds up quick.
Right, exactly. And it's just like, just like Donald Trump.
It's worth it though. Yeah, you don't want to know the government.
Right.
Because I do.
Exactly. Those guys pay, like when you start talking about a lot of the top 1% of the country, millionaires, billionaires, and stuff like that, they pay a pretty penny to people to manage that for them. The tax code is no joke.
When they say they don't pay any taxes, all right, they do pay taxes. They just don't pay. They don't pay the taxes at the end of the year to the federal government. They pay those taxes through separate, either through state tax, through other federal taxes that their business deals with.
Correct.
And then they also, not only that, you're paying the 12% of everybody, all employees' taxes, or then so, and you're paying. Yeah, you end up you become the economy.
Right. They pay the property tax. They pay the valuation taxes. Very little of it goes to the actual federal government, if any. And it's not that they're doing anything wrong. Like I said, they're working within the system. They didn't write the tax codes. They didn't do none of this stuff. They're just working within what's in front of them. And honestly, why should they? It's their companies, just like it's our companies that are earning this money. So why should we pay?
Nick said this is better. I'm guessing he came over here from.
Oh, Nick Earl? Yeah. Nick Earl.
I'm guessing I can't accept any other guests because I figure somebody would have popped in here by now. But
I think you can. I don't know how many you can do. I mean, I'll jump off if anybody else wants to get in, but it's like.
That's what I thought I could do at least 3 or 4. I thought as a free version, but.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just like I say, it's like when it comes to taxes, like for me, best way I can describe taxes is this, like a metronome, right? Is that thing that goes back and forth, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock? That does that? Is that what it's called, a metronome? You know what I'm talking about? It keeps.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the time sinker or whatever it is.
So the way I look at taxes is like this. You got that dead center middle, right? Like that middle zero. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm getting this big of a return. Well, okay, you just gave the government an interest-free loan and they're not going to give that money back to you in the interest. You're getting basically what they took from you. And then you got some people that say, well, I owe this amount of money. Well, then you didn't spend enough money in business, right? So you want to try to be as close to that zero mark as possible. That's where you want to be. You want to be as close to that zero mark because you're going to have to invest that money anyway, because if you don't invest the right amount of money or whatever, the IRS, the government, the federal government, as well as state level government, they are going to take their cut of your hide and the income in which you earn.
The guy's behind me. He's dragging his trailer tires around. That's what it is.
So I for me, look, I'm not giving the government any more money than they deserve. And if they get no money,
oh, trust me, lately I don't feel that the federal government has been doing much to help the common person out, the common man or whatever.
Absolutely not. No, I'm not going to give it to them.
They're kind of doing a pretty bad job on the rail situation right now. Like the one short I put up, the fucking bridge was held together with chains, and there's a train going across it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you got that, and I mean, there's several other things, and the fact of, you know, what are they doing for me? What's the
Were you deployed?
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
I
so
know.
yeah, you even got more skin in the game than anybody else. So.
Oh yeah, I know what the government does. I do. I know how they spend the American people's money. I've seen it. I've seen how they spend tax dollars.
$1 million on a box to go overseas that has like 5 bolts in it and shit.
Yep.
It's because you know what they do. Everyone's like, oh, the government just wastes our money. They don't waste your money. They funnel it out of the Fed or whatever you want to call it. They funnel it out. They throw it through a supposed contractor or business or whatnot, Halliburton or what's that other defense contractor there was? Blackwater and shit. And it gets funneled through that, and then it magically gets back either gets back into somebody's pockets that's pulling the strings either through bribes or through the stock market. It's basically a laundering scheme to empty the treasury.
It is.
That's what it is. And I don't need a fucking associate's degree or a bachelor's degree or whatever to fucking figure that one out, you know.
It is. No, you're absolutely right. That's like
it's no different than what the mafia used to do back in the 20s and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, explain this one to me, right? This is when I really started to catch on how the government spends the American taxpayers' money. You're in the military, right? And the military is supposed to have this huge budget, right? Like the largest part of the budget is usually military spending, defense spending. We're getting ready to deploy, right? We get ready to go to the range to make sure we slide our weapons in, train, and all that stuff. How is it that we go to get ammunition? They say you don't have money to pay for the training event. And then mysteriously the next day they say, oh, you've got $100,000 to spend out of nowhere. Really? So it costs $100,000?
And then they go hand you the rifle and it's an M4 with a freaking barrel bent.
Right. So you tell me, explain that to me. You know, that's just a small example. And it's just like, yeah, something ain't quite right here. So no, I will use the tax code to my advantage. I'm not breaking the law. I'm just working within the way it's written. I'm not going to give the government any more money than they deserve.
Yeah.
If I have my way about it, I will give them zero until the day I die. They didn't earn it.
But you don't want to help those poor people out that think they deserve.
Don't get me started. I'm not going to get into a political debate.
No, I know. What sucks though is it's gotten so bad that everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I've never thought it would come to a day where everything was entangled into that bullshit. Yep. To be honest, some of the problems we're even having in this industry is because of that bullshit.
Yep. I will refrain from a political debate. So
yeah.
I'm just here to try to help people in business, and I like to inspire people. That's what I want to do. I want to inspire. If some old broken down combat veteran can do this and get educated and read,
Music City said the other one is one they say we have to make sure we fire all the ammo by the end of the month so we can get.
Yes. Yes, I've had that one. Dude, they actually had us when I was I spent most of my career in the Army with the 82nd. Literally, dude, I remember the first sergeant called me. He was like, because I just got promoted to staff sergeant. Staff Sergeant Rogers. Yes, first sergeant. I need you to go find 15 door kickers. 2 easy top. What do you need? We're going to go blow ammo. I thought he was joking. I thought we were going to go training, right? Do some night training. No, literally.
Blow it the fuck up.
We took 2 LMTVs full of fucking 5.5, like 30,000 rounds out to the range, right? With 15 soldiers. And that's what we did for 8 hours, was just shoot into the woods, into the dark, to waste the ammunition.
You mean, none of those boxes made it under the fence, did they?
I can neither confirm.
I used to hear that going on too a lot.
I can neither confirm nor deny. All I will tell you is that we did as we were ordered, and 30,000 rounds of ammunition were expended.
Yeah, it disappeared.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh shit.
But that's what I want to do. I mean, for me as a business owner, and where I want to go in my life, that's my whole thing is I want to inspire people. I want to inspire people that want to work for themselves. Because I mean, dude, there's a lot of things I've done in my life that I would consider great accomplishments. I've helped a lot of people, but for me, there's nothing more satisfying than
You want to buy Nick a truck? He says that'll inspire him.
Nick. Yeah, Nick wants Nick wants a he's supposed to be going to work for Best. I told Best I'd back off of Nick and give him the first crack at Nick. So that's what I told him. Yeah, Clacker and C4, absolutely. I've done that.
No better use for Clacker and C4, yeah.
But that's my thing is I want to inspire people that want to better themselves, because no matter how you cut it, the way that our economy is designed, the way it's built, the backbone of that economy is the small business. Unfortunately, we have a federal government who likes to back a lot of big corporations to try to crush that. And every time they start to crush it, the economy starts to crumble. The economy starts to crumble. It's actually small businesses statistically that create the most jobs in this country. It's not the big corporations. It's actually the small business owner. It's just
there's more of them. It's a bigger, broader spectrum.
Correct. The only problem that we have right now is that the small business owner, with the way the current economic climate is, can't compete with the wages of the big boys.
Well, there's also some political stuff going on there with that too. But the big boys can just, hey, can you make up this regulation that kind of should affect us a little bit, but we have the bankroll to take care of that regulation. And what you'll do is you'll basically put my little competitors, out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the ATA is all about.
Yep. That's why the AB5 came about. That's why the unions are trying to push. I live in Missouri.
Once you think the ATA would be a little more up in arms about the AB5?
Yeah, you would think so, but
yeah, how much did they really say about it? Just about nothing. The only person that even said anything about it was fucking owner. What the hell is it? What the hell is it called? Owner. That damn owner op freaking thing. I don't even deal with that anymore.
I know the owner of Landstar said something about it.
Yeah, the owner of Landstar said something. Yeah.
And the owner of Prime said something.
And OOIDA, said something too. But you know what? The OOIDA is just in it for themselves anyway. So
I don't. Yeah. Once again, I'm not going to get into political debate about OOIDA. I have my feelings about them.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say, man. So I'm about wore out with that.
We pretty much covered everything, at least intelligently. I'm like, what was going on over there?
I think I kind of blew my wad over on the other side. I was getting frustrated, but
man, I was getting, and then it got really ridiculous there near the end.
Yeah. So
I was just like, we just let 2 or 3 people talk at once instead of like total mayhem.
Right.
Because it's sad, because that's what it turns into. It turns into a fucking drama show instead of an actual educational, educational discussion, which it should be. Because there are what's his name? The guy that was on there was actually asking you questions. He obviously wanted to improve his situation.
Oh yeah, I don't mind the questions. I don't mind answering questions at all. The part where I get frustrated is when you get people that want to just, for lack of word, bicker back and forth.
Nick said, "I saw you throw yourself back in a chair."
I gave up, Nick. I just literally, I was like,
yeah. So I was just sitting there too, like this, like fuck it.
I was over here actually thinking about football season and all that stuff. So yeah, is bartering coming back? I wish bartering would come back. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind going back to a bartering system. That was the good old days.
Bartering.
Bartering. Yeah, I don't know how old you are, but yeah, bartering, the barter system, like basically, you have chicken eggs. Well, I have hot dogs.
Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. All right, yeah, I know what you're talking about then.
Are we doing fantasy again, Nick? I hope so. There's some people in that group I don't know if I would want to have back in that group, but that's for you guys to decide. I enjoyed fantasy football. I love football anyway, I think my Carolina Panthers made a hell of a move. I don't know if you watch football or not, but they did. They traded DJ Moore for to move up and get the number 1 draft pick this year because we desperately need a franchise quarterback. So I think they made a great move. So we'll see how that works out, though. I don't get paid.
I have a hard spot for football right now. I'm an Eagles fan, so kind of feel like I fucking
y'all got beat.
Short end of the stick on that one.
Yeah,
that turned into more of a WWE event than it really was a football game, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh, come on now, really? Jesus, one play did not decide that game.
I think there was a little more what is it? A little more ticks or tails. Like when they were showing the owner and everything and his girl, they were like already getting up and leaving like around halftime. Like, they already knew what was going on.
That game was over. Kansas City was that was a good.
No, that was a good game. It was a real good game to watch. But like I said, I think it turned in a little bit like a WWE event.
No, Kansas City had that game handily. They were playing very well, very good football. Patrick Mahomes is just a special player. We'll probably never ever see another player like him in our lifetime. I mean, that young man, the things he does, and the fact of, I don't think I've ever seen a guy that can look one way and throw a football accurately the other way.
I used to say that about McNabb though too.
And he does that. I mean, but Mahomes does that repeatedly. McNabb was every once in a while, but literally.
Yeah, he had It's
crazy. I like McNabb. McNabb came from my favorite college football team back at Syracuse University.
Yeah, I was on the McNabb train back then too.
Do you believe McNabb was a wishbone quarterback?
Yeah, he was.
He was a wishbone.
Yeah, he came right from, worked his way right up.
Yep.
And he worked for it too. That's why when what was it? His knee? Did he fuck up or his ankle?
His knee.
His knee. When he fucked up his knee and then got traded to Washington, I was like, man, this ain't gonna be good for his career.
Right, Nick? Darius Slay, sure enough, freaking holding everybody. Old thug out there. Nate Bradbury trying to give people concussions.
Yep. Yeah, he fucking gave some good hits.
So, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night, man. I didn't even realize it's like.
Yeah,
it's like our clocks go forward. Is it 1 o'clock? Is it really 1 or is it 2? I don't know.
What, tonight they go forward?
I think it's tonight. It's either tonight or tomorrow night.
I don't know. I got 3:13 on the phone, but I'm in Mount Airy, North Carolina. So
yeah, I'm just over in St. Louis. So if it's 3:13, I should only be an hour ahead of you. So yeah, it's like 2:13 here. So
yeah,
my clock's showing 1:13, so it ain't flipped yet. So yeah,
flying through the air, hit and receive.
So yeah, Tom Brady. You think Brady's going to retire? What do you think?
I don't know why he wouldn't.
I think he's going to go to San Francisco till them 2 young quarterbacks get healed. I think he's going to get one more.
I don't think he's going to get one more, but he's going to finish off his career, I guess.
I think he's going to get one more. If he goes to San Francisco wins the Super Bowl next year.
I don't know, though. He is getting kind of old.
All he's got to do, he's old. He's just old, okay? But he can still throw the rock. There's no denying that. The way San Francisco's system is built would be perfect for him. He don't have to be the star. They got McCaffrey, Debo, all them guys, Ayuk, all them guys.
Yeah, as long as he could throw it half decent, they could probably connect the dots and make the plays.
That's all he needs. He's going to go while Purdy's going to be recovering from surgery.
Although I could see the uproar, though, if they all of a sudden went to the Super Bowl.
I think he'll go to San Francisco and get one more. Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the Jets. Jimmy Garoppolo will go to the Panthers. Panthers will draft a rookie, let the rookie develop. Jimmy Garoppolo will be there as a bridge. If not,
Nick said he's done. There might be a lot of personal shit in his life too that he'd be done for too.
Let me tell you about Nick, okay, and quarterbacks. We're talking about a guy in fantasy football that could not pick a quarterback to save his life. He would pick a quarterback, he sucked. He wouldn't pick a quarterback, he was the MVP. Nick knows nothing about quarterbacks. He just doesn't. Sorry, Nick. I love you to death, but you and quarterbacks, not so much. See, look, let's not go there.
That's not good.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's like that. It's like that, you know, your thing from Game of Thrones. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Yeah, he knows nothing about quarterbacks.
I'm stuck with Godfrey till the end of the year.
He did. He stuck with Goff. Jared Goff sucked. And then who would he put in there? I think at one point he had Matt Ryan in there. I think he had Carson Wentz at one point.
Carson Wentz.
Poor Nick. It became a running joke. Poor Nick could not pick a quarterback. Literally, like he had like 3 quarterbacks on his roster, on his fantasy roster at one point, and whoever he would start would suck, and whoever was on his bench would have like an MVP game. And finally, I think he just finally gave up. He's like, I give up. And he
had Jacobs. At least Jacobs will have decent.
So poor Nick, he couldn't get it right. I think didn't you take that Jets quarterback? Who was it? God.
It was Andrew or something?
No, it wasn't Zach Wilson. It was his backup. It was like the 3rd string guy that came in and was playing okay.
Man, I haven't been football in a long time.
I think he ended up there he is, Mike White, until Mike White started. That's who it was. He picked Mike White out of the blue. He's like, screw it, I'm just gonna try it. And he's okay then. Yep. So yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah,
man.
no problem. It was good. You know, definitely a lot of information. Hey, stop by anytime you want, Spectre. I sometimes go live. It's just like I said, I do a lot of reefer shit, and I'm always running because Tyson keeps me running. So, you know.
All that, man.
Yeah. So,
all right, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, have a good night, Spectre.
You too.
All right, guys, that's going to be it. Because like I said, it's like 3:00 here, and they're saying the clocks are going to go forward. So what's that going to make it 4? Even though I don't have nothing to do, I'm just sitting on this load for right now. But, you know, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I hope you got some good knowledge out of this. This is kind of content I want to try to put out there. You know, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You know, if you don't like me calling out trucking companies and people and calling stupid shit out, you know, maybe you don't want to subscribe. I got a few shorts that kind of piss people off. You know, they're calling me snitch and stuff. So I don't know if you want to get into that. I do that once in a while, but at least in my opinion, I feel it has to be done because trucking's getting a little crazy right now. But like I said, it is what it is. Yeah, and thanks to everybody stopping by and giving comments. So thanks for all the shout outs and everybody that shared. And yeah, till next time. So thanks for stopping by.